I just thought I'd do a new introduction that would be funner. But I wanted to get on because I know there's a lot of people not feeling really good. So, how do you feel good? Basically, you try to do your best to turn your mind away from what's making you miserable by thinking about things that make you happy. And it's hard when you're in the middle of agony, of things going wrong in your life, of things not working out the way you want it to. But you always have to remember that if things don't work out, it's because it's for your protection. That Source is watching over you. If you're if you're a person that is holding on to something that makes you peaceful, if you have that in your life, if you don't have that in your life, then you need to find what makes you happy. You need to find what brings you peace first. And once you have that and you discovered that, then it becomes easier to align and to go to it when things go wrong, believing and knowing that things are going to get better. We're in the middle of a transition. We're in the middle of a major shift. And some people haven't woke up to that yet. And so they're still deep into their suffering. They're deep into their confusion because things are changing for the better. But we've been so programmed to think about negative stuff, to think about how bad it is, to think about our lack, to think about things that we don't have that we want. And we forget about all the things we do have. We forget about all the good that we have. We forget about the blessings that are around us every single day, that you get to wake up and you get to breathe, that you are blessed. You know, if you make a list of all the good and all the bad in your life, the pros and cons, you'll find out the pros always outweigh the bad. You can have a list of things that are that you think is really awful, but if you really start to sit down and think about just even the simple things in life, that you have a place to live, you have a roof over your head, you have family, you have friends, you have your health. You know, I mean, maybe you don't have your health, but maybe you have your eyes, maybe you have good eyesight, maybe you have a good voice, maybe you can still hear. There's so many people that are in dire straits, worse than you, that have a better attitude because they have to carry on. And that's the way we are, but it's not going to be that way forever, and it gets better. The more you start thinking about your good stuff, things get better, because that's what you're creating. That's what you have to remember, is the more that you think about whatever you're thinking about is what you're creating. So if you're looking at all the negative, if you got your TV on, if you got things on that are bringing you down, and I've got to find out what's going on with that, and you know, all these disasters, because there are going to be disasters, because there is a shift going on. Things are changing. The world is changing. Earth is changing. It's shifting to a higher consciousness as well, a higher frequency to survive, because we are a planet of over, I think it's 5,000 years of wars. I mean, that vibration after that long can bring anything down to a very low state of frequency. And so in order to continue, in order to survive, the frequency is going up. It's just like anything. What goes up must come down. What goes down must go up. You know, it's a law of nature. You can only get so low until you know it's time to go up. So that's kind of what's happening. I know there's a lot of disasters going on in the world. I don't focus on it ever, because why? It's out of my control. The only thing I have in control is my own happiness, my own light, and what I want to create. And so I focus in on all the good stuff, because the more I create good stuff, the more other people can enjoy good as well. Because the more we create good stuff together as a humanity, the more the world will shift easier. So it's important to get into that frame of mind. I wanted to read something that, well, let's get back to this because I know some of you are really struggling. So how do you really get out of being down? Well, you can start thinking about colors. You can start thinking about things that make you happy. You know, the laugh of a newborn baby, the butterfly, colors of butterflies. You can actually start coloring, start drawing. Even if you don't know how to draw, you can start scribbling on paper and start coloring in the lines, colors that make you happy, and start zoning into creating your mind to think of things that bring you light. Some people have a hard time concentrating and focusing, and what helped me was everybody has different methods, but I can only share what I've gone through, and what resonates keep, and what doesn't resonate throw away. Of course, you know that. But what helped me was a candle, to light a candle and to focus on the candlelight, the flame. And what would happen is every time my mind would wander on anything, I'd go back to the flame. And what it did is it disciplined my mind to think of one thing. The flame that was burning, the way it was burning, the movement of it, the colors of it, the mystery of fire. And I did that for a long time until I got my mind to stop wandering so much. And it really seemed to help. And then you can learn to do other things as far as once you start to really get your mind to think of one thing and not be distracted by anything else, then you can expand into other things that you want to focus on. So that's how I did it. I don't know, everybody's going to be different, but it worked for me. And I know people have a hard time with so much distraction going on, but everything is a distraction, and that's what you have to remember, is there's a lot of distractions out here, and it's all part of the plot of keeping you distracted so that you can't focus on what really matters, and that's your own happiness. We've been programmed to stay constantly busy. Our minds race all the time, and on things that really don't matter, really. I mean, you can make yourself a list in the morning of the things you need to absolutely get done, but once those things are done, you don't need to be meandering around trying to figure out what else your mind can be on, when you can start focusing on going within, because the door out is within. The door out is within you. It's not on the outside of you. Once you go within and you find that place of peace, the place you call home, then you can find the door. And once you find your door, then you can find your way out. And that's the most important thing you have to remember, is the way out is within. And so that's why everybody kind of, that is awoke already, people that, a lot of these teachers and everything talk about meditation and talk about prayer and talk about focusing and that kind of thing. It's very important, and it's not a cult, it's not. That's why we keep it so wide open to every faith, to everybody, to reach for what means something to you. It's not one way or the other. The main thing is within your heart there's a spark, and that's across the board. It's not religious, it's scientific, and it's medical. It's a scientific and medical fact that we have an electric shock that keeps our heart beating. It's like, when somebody has heart problems, the first thing they do is they want to give you an electric shock to get your heart going again. Well, that electric shock is within us all the time. It's happening right now to every one of us. What are we plugged into? We're plugged into the electromagnetic field. We're plugged into source. And that's what you have to remember. So that's where you want to focus, is within your heart is where the temple lives. is where the temple resides. And if you're so focused on everything on the outside and all the physical's great. I'm not putting down the physical at all. It's wonderful. And it's part of everything too. But if you don't have your peace within and all you're looking at is the outside, you're going to miss it. You're missing how to enjoy this world in a peaceful manner instead of raging in riots and outside contentions and trying to force your way in and your will. It's an inward journey. So, and it's happening for everybody. It's not just excluded to just a few. It's open to everybody. Anybody that's willing to listen, anybody that's willing to try, it's there for them. But you have a free will too. You know, you can choose to or not. It's not religious. In fact, religion is one of the biggest ploys out there that's a stumbling block, because it's caused a lot of divisions, that you have to believe my way or it's not right. And that's the universe. Source is universal. Source doesn't look at you and your religion. Source doesn't say, oh, you're this, you're a Christian, oh, okay, well, you're the only one that can come in, or you're Catholic, or you're Muslim, or you're Buddhist. No, it's universal. It loves everybody equally. It's within everybody equally. The same electric shock that is in my heart is in everybody's heart that lives in this world. It's not just to a certain group of people. And that's what you have to remember, is that's what keeps it universal. That's what keeps it away from being a cult. When you start to say that my way is the only way, then it becomes a problem. Then you end up turning into a Jim Jones, or people go crazy. They want to have mass murders. They want to, evacuate people, it's not like that. This is a universal thing. This is a combining. This is coming together as a family, as one unit. It's not dissension. And if people are in a dissension, as far as in their energy field, if they're really struggling and they're angry, then just walk away. Allow them space to work through what they have to work through. Everybody deals with it differently, and there's no right or wrong way. The only right and wrong way is allowing space and loving each other unconditionally. It doesn't mean you have to be a rug to be walked on or used. It means that they're like you, and they have their own path and their own free will to choose the way they want to do it. But what the main thing is to understand that we are allowed to have that free will. We are allowed to do it, to be able to join together as a family. I have other things I want to share, but I think I want to keep it short in these shorter portions. There's some really cool stuff that Source has come up with that I have to share with you. But I think keeping it on one subject there's just so much information out there, and there's so many beautiful teachers out there that are teaching amazing stuff. You just have to you can Google and look up anything online and find something that really resonates with you. I'm going to try to get on here more and try to speak more too. Like Source wants me to get on more, so I am. I'm psyched up for it. I'm ready. I've grounded myself. I've been really consumed with my own walk, my own journey, my own inner healing, and so I have a lot to share as well. I love each of you so much, and I want to encourage you that we are all going to be okay. We're all going to make it. And don't let the news and don't let all this fear stuff get you down. Just stay close to Source. Stay close to love. Forgive yourself, And main thing is to forgive yourself. You're already forgiven. But the problem is we haven't forgiven ourselves. We don't think we're worthy. We don't think that we're good enough. We don't think that we belong. We think that, we've messed up too bad, and no one's messed up too bad. We've all messed up. And Source's amazing love, unconditional love, is here to saturate the planet with raising everybody, bringing everybody into wholeness, in their own personal wholeness, in their own personal happiness. A lot of new star seeds are coming on board and coming online. A lot of newborns that are coming in are just filled with the grace of this energy, and is expanding it into the world. Their energy is just so precious. I love you guys so much, and I know you're going to be okay. Just keep thinking you're going to be okay too. You have to believe it as well. I can say it all I want on the outside, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen for you. Anyways, I hope you have an amazing day. I'll play you another little tune if I can do it.